I'm Rod Harrison. I am a marriage coach and I love helping couples win at this all important relationship. I want to help you win. I really do. It'd be my honor and my joy. Listen, so many couples fight about money. I want to challenge you, encourage you, help you. Stop fighting over money. You don't have to fight about money. I know we all need money. And I know that we really just can't function without it. We gotta have it in order to live. But did you know that so many, probably more marriages end over money than almost any other reason? Certainly if there is stress and trauma related to child who's sick or has very different needs, that's a big deal. When infidelity happens, that's a big deal. It can create a lot of stress. It can cause marriages to split up. But money is a significant reason why a lot of couples break up. Hey, stop fighting over money. Don't give up on your marriage because of money. So in this session, I want to help you get through this challenge with money. Stay tuned, we're going to get into it in just a moment. Okay, so we're talking about money. We're talking about stop fighting over money. Did I say that already? Stop fighting over money. The money was here before you got here. The money was here before you got married. The money's going to be here long after you're gone. Listen, there's no need to be fighting over money because money is not running short on planet Earth. There is a lot of money on planet Earth. Why are the two of you fighting about money? Have you wondered about that? Hey, this big issue of fighting over money is so important. And I know that it's probably been happening for a while in your marriage. It's usually not like something that pops up. It's something that happens and it keeps happening. It's creating issues in your marriage. And I want to help you solve your deepest, most consistent challenges in your marriage. I want you to grab my Happy Marriage Workshop. It's kind of a workshop / checklist because I talk about and help you to see 6 vital areas of relationship need. If you focus on these 6 issues, really, yes, it's only 6. I've been working with couples for decades, hundreds, thousands of couples, and the same issues keep happening time and time and time again. If you can get focused on these 6, get better, get equipped, get tooled, you can actually fix your money issues. Hey, it's my Happy Marriage Workshop. It's a bit of a checklist. It's free. Just go get it. Just go get it. The link is in the notes. Get that link. Subscribe. Listen to this checklist and see which of those areas you need work in the most. And I bet you're going to be surprised that money is not really the main issue. So get that checklist and we'll get into it. Let's talk about stop fighting over money. How do we stop fighting over money? Well, one, we got to remember that the root issue is not necessarily money itself, right? It's not like the root issue is not always do we have enough money, because some couples have plenty of money and they fight over money. Isn't that amazing? Some couples have plenty of money and they fight over money. You'd be amazed how many couples are very comfortable financially, but they fight over money. What's that all about? So it's not always do we have enough money. Now, that can be a challenge for anybody. And I think couples all go through seasons where, not all, but most couples go through seasons where the money ebbs and flows. You know, if you hit a challenge and you're out of work and you start running out of your savings, I hope you've been saving. Yeah, I hope you've been saving. But if you start running out of savings, that can cause some challenges. So, but that's not the core issue. The core issue isn't even always about spender, non-spender. You know, there's always one in the marriage who's a saver, one in the marriage who's a spender. right? One's more conservative financially, one is less conservative, and we think that one is better than the other. That's almost always the case. I'm working with a couple right now, and that's their challenge. After making millions, literally millions of dollars in their lifetime, they are at odds about money. And one is a saver, very conservative. They live in a wonderful home, wonderful community. They can take care of their children's needs. The other one has a very lucrative career. It's not that they don't have money. It's this challenge of one's a spender, one's a saver, and they think that one is better than the other. So the person who doesn't spend a lot of money is like, you're unwise, and, you just don't understand the value of money, and, why can't you just be more frugal? And the person who spends more is kind of like, well, why do you have to be such a tightwad? Why are you so stingy? Why are you so cheap? Right? Those are the fights that happen, and you'd be amazed. The spender versus the saver. And in this ring, we got the spender. In this corner of the ring, we got the spender. In this corner of the ring, we got the saver. And the bell is about to go off again. Ding, 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 ding. They come into the ring and they fight again. Stop fighting about money. So if it's not about whether we have resources or not, that can be a challenge. And if it's not about the spender or the saver, what is it about? The issue really isn't like whether you can generate income. Because if you're watching this video, if you've been tracking with me on my YouTube channel, you are probably a pretty capable person, right? You probably are pretty intelligent. You probably think well. You probably work hard, right? You can generate the income you need. So generating the income is not really generally the issue. It could be, but generally that's not even the issue. Everybody's got a gift. Everybody's got a skill. Everybody has, genius. And I just tell people, use your genius. Take your genius to the marketplace and let it work for you and generate income for you. You can generate the income that you need. You literally can. You have to. You can. Now, if you're not generating the income that you need, you got to ask yourself, why the scarcity thinking? Why the scarcity mindset? Why do you think it makes sense to wait until somebody hires you or fires you before you can be financially free? That's a whole nother video. But I want to challenge you that that's probably not the issue. Let me give you two other things that I think are not the issue. It's usually not about whether you have a budget. Because, that's the thing that couples really get into it over. Like, we need a budget. We need a budget. Why won't you follow the budget? Come on, y'all, help me talk in here. Why won't you follow the budget? I put the budget together. Can you just follow the budget? The budget. Have you had the budget conversation between the two of you? I just feel like somebody right now is like, oh my goodness, what is happening here? Like, this dude knows what's going on in my house. I've been trying to get my wife or my husband to follow the budget. Maybe one of you is like, I've been trying to get my wife or my husband to stop nagging me about the freaking budget. Every dime has to be accounted for. Budgets are not bad. They just tell you how to use the money. They tell you which direction the money is supposed to move in. So budgets are not all bad. But your problem is not the budget. Your problem is not, do you follow the budget or not? Do you have a budget or not? I'm for budgets. You need a budget. It's important to have a budget. Absolutely. If you're going to move forward financially and be financially free and solvent, you need a budget. Absolutely. But the budget's not the issue. I keep telling you what's not the issue. You're like, well, what is the issue, bro? You keep telling me what the issue isn't. What is the issue? Why do we keep fighting over money? Whether we got millions or whether we got thousands, whether we got savings or whether we got no savings, whether we're generating more income or not generating. Why do we keep fighting over money? I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you have asked. Now, get your pen out. This is going to blow you away. Get ready for how to stop fighting over money. Are you ready? Let me make sure I gave you all of the why it's not the root. I think I did. Yes. Okay. The root of your problem, why you fight over money, listen, in all of my experience of working with couples, right? I've taught how to, before you get married, what to do about money, right? I've done make sure you check the credit score of the person you're going to marry, right? All of that. I think all of that has some, it has its place. But here's the issue. You fight over money because of your anxiety about money. Yep, that's it. You fight over money because of anxiety about money. I bet you, if I were a betting man, I would bet you that you've always been anxious about money. Before you got married, you were anxious about money. You were anxious about, how am I going to make it? How am I going to have enough money? When am I going to have enough money? I need to be a millionaire before I'm 21. Come on, man. Really? Sis, really? You want to be a millionaire before you're 21, before you're 31, before you're 51, before you're 91? Right? I guess I just got to have more money. You've been anxious about money all your life. And guess what? You brought your anxiety with you into your marriage. And guess why you fight about money? Because of your anxiety about money. Let me break this down a little bit for you. Money is so core that it touches a nerve in our being. It's like we see money as like, I need to survive. I need to, this is, survival of the fittest, right? Whoever's got the most money wins. Like chill out, relax, chill out. I know it's important. I know that it's essential. I know that we have to have money to live, but some of us take it way, way deeper than it needs to be. Some of us need to take it a little bit more seriously, because some of you got a spouse at home who's like, they ain't got a care in the world. They ain't got a responsibility in the world. They're not working for the money, not hard, not halfway. Right? Yes, it's essential. We have to work for money. We have to employ our gifts and skills and talents. Yes, because money is essential to our lives. But here might be what's going on. If one of you grew up in an environment of scarcity, like I grew up in an environment where money was hard to come by. I grew up in the projects. I grew up where, subsidized housing. I grew up watching my mom, my single mom, right, bust her chops to make ends meet for her boys. I grew up watching her scratching her head trying to figure out how she was going to pay the bills. I watched my mom cry over losing her job, getting laid off, and trying to figure out what's next for her. And for a young black mom who's single, that's a whole lot. And I saw what it was like to live with a sense of scarcity, like that fear, like it's going to run out and I don't know how we're going to meet our needs. I saw the anxiety rise, and guess what? I brought that same anxiety into my marriage. So that in our early years of marriage, Sherry and I, she would clear the room. When we had kids, they would clear the room. They're like, Daddy's writing the checks for the bills. Oh, Lord, here we go. Like, everybody run, everybody hide, because my anxiety would get so high. Now, I didn't know it was anxiety. I just was just nervous, right? And I procrastinated to pay the bills, and I would get nervous every time it was time to pay the bills. Like every month, I would just go through this ritual anxiety, this scarcity. Are we going to have enough? And I imposed all of the wrath of my anxiety on my family. And we fought about money because of my anxiety. How am I going to provide for my family? Don't spend too much. Don't get your nails done. Don't get your hair done. Don't buy no food. Come on, man. Listen, it was a scarcity mentality. And I had to change my mentality. There is enough for me. I can make what I need. You understand what I'm saying? That no, I don't have to go off the rails with anxiety about whether there's going to be enough. So it was a scarcity mentality. If you grew up in a situation where the money was plentiful, right? I have a friend who made millions in Hollywood. You know, brilliant writer and did really well. And she said to me, she said, Rod, it's not being broke that scares me. It's going broke that scares me. She says that idea of going broke is what really gives me pause. And, she grew up with pretty good means. Here's what I would say is true for people who grew up with, whether it was really wealthy or middle class or whatever, you had means, your needs were met. It's the idea, what if we don't have it? So it's not like you don't have it, it's just the nervousness, the anxiety about what if someday we don't have it. And so you just hold on to everything and it's just, you're not generous with other people. And, we can't do this, we can't do that. But the anxiety kicks in because you're afraid you might lose the money. It's all about anxiety. Can I give you a couple more scenarios? We're going to wrap it up in a moment. Some people spend money in order to ease anxiety. Yeah. By the way, anxiety is simply a fear about the future. It's a fear. Anxiety is fear. And some people spend money because they're trying to calm anxiety. You'd be amazed how many people have anxiety. They go to the mall. Like, they call it shop therapy. Right, mall therapy. They call it Amazon therapy, right? Just spend money, right? It's like it makes them feel better. It makes them feel like they actually have something, that they're worth something, that they're valuable. And so to calm their anxiety, they buy something. And then the credit card bill comes and the anxiety rises again. Are you married to someone who is a shopaholic? See, this is not about the budget. This is about the anxiety. And you have been missing it. This is about the anxiety. You can tell anxiety is working because some people, right, their spouse overspends or you overspend. And then this fight starts, this conflict starts, it just gets brutal. And we're beating each other up over money. And why can't you just not do this? And why can't you just be more generous? And why can't you just stop spending money? And what's happening is anxiety is gone out the roof. So what do? I'll give you a couple things that you need to do so you can stop fighting about money. One, recognize that it's anxiety. Recognize it's anxiety. Oh, your spouse is not evil, wicked, crazy. No, they could be, but I'm assuming that you married somebody who's not wild, wicked, crazy, off the charts. I'm assuming. Maybe you're like, please don't assume. Well, I'll let you sort that out. But it may not be that. It might be that they're carrying a lot of anxiety. Recognize if it's anxiety. How do you know if it's anxiety? Because when money conversation comes up, like bodies get fidgety and tensions get high, and you can see it in the shoulders, you can see it in the eyes, right? It's a thing. Recognize if anxiety is happening. Next, you got to learn how to calm anxiety. Calm the anxiety. You'd be amazed at how you can calm the anxiety over money. Take a deep breath. Take a pause. Really take a deep breath. You can't think clearly when your anxiety is racing, right? Your prefrontal cortex, I don't want to be too technical, but what we call your executive functioning abilities, that center in your brain goes offline. You can't think clearly. So you see the other person as the enemy because you're concerned. We might lose all our money. Now, yeah, you might if the spending doesn't get under control. But the issue is often anxiety. If you check the anxiety registry on your spouse, you might be getting to the root of the problem. You're likely to be getting to the root of the problem. All right, so you got to calm the anxiety. You got to recognize the anxiety. You got to tell yourself a different story than what the anxiety is telling you. Anxiety is always telling us stories. Hey, you're going to run out of money. Listen, we're going to be broke. We're going to be out on the streets. It's going to go crazy. The kids aren't going to be able to go to school. Like, hey, no, you got money in the bank. You got a job today, or you can get a job tomorrow. You got a God that you can talk to who can help you. You got friends who support you. I mean, there are lots of resources. Stop telling yourself the negative story of anxiety, or stop letting anxiety tell you the story. Right? You got to stop the crazy stories. Like, you've been through this before. None of that happened. None of that happened. Stop telling yourself those stories. All right? You can pray, by the way. I don't know where you are in relationship to God. I believe in prayer. I encourage people to pray to Him and seek Him and ask Him for direction and guidance and help. I've done it a million times. I promise you, I needed to pray for God's help. And I've seen God come through, calm my anxiety. Something happens when I go to prayer. My anxiety gets better. Yep. That's how you calm your anxiety. Learn to empathize with each other. All right. Now this is real talk right here, right? Learn to empathize with each other. Can you empathize with your spouse and the anxiety that they feel and how they got here? Like, what shaped them to make them see money the way they do? Like, I know it's irritating. I know it feels like they're selfish. Could be. I'm not, I don't know. But I think a lot of it is self-protecting from anxiety. So I want to offer you to empathize with your spouse. I hope they will empathize with you when your anxiety is rising. Because if you can empathize with one another, see anxiety, see this problem, you can actually begin to work together. And that's when a budget, a spending plan begins to make sense. When principles to follow begin to make sense. Because what's happening on the inside is no longer happening on the outside. That's what I tell all of my clients that I work with in both my online program and in my concierge coaching program. So listen, stop fighting over money. Look for anxiety. Is anxiety happening? Is it wrecking your ability to connect around the subject of money? Yeah, see it for what it is. Write these points down. Go talk to your spouse about it. And whatever you do, make sure you get my free Happy Marriage workshop. Go through that checklist and say, hey, how are we doing in meeting each other's emotional needs? How are we doing with resolving conflict? How are we doing with our communication? That's what this checklist is all about, to help you see what it is, why it's important, and for you to just sort of see how well you're doing with it. That checklist is free. It's just for you. I hope you'll get it. Hey, I'm glad you were here today. I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you're getting a lot of value out of these videos. I hope you're having like wow moments, aha moments, like, yeah, that's what's going on. And if that's the case, make sure you like and subscribe. It's my honor to support you. I'm going to try to keep these videos coming every week to you, just in the hopes that I can be an encouragement to you. Hey, I'm Rod Harrison. I'm glad you were here with me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next